And it was like that in my childhood I used to visit his company also on Sundays, and there I used to see the machines and all, how the things are being operated, how the when you push a button, then the mold will open, the machine opens, and the product comes out. Well, that was all very fascinating to me, and that is how I thought I should do something in this line.
Welcome everybody to Career Talks with Mentoria. Thank you so much for taking the time out and joining us today. The mission of all of these conversations, these talk shows, these webinars are to ensure that each and every one of you can make informed decisions, visualize your future worlds, understand exactly how different kinds of careers work, the good, the bad, as well as the ugly, and then choose the right path for yourselves. Our passion is to help you discover yours, and that's one of the objectives of these webinars. Today, I have an absolutely incredible conversation on the world of plastic engineering and building a career in it. We have with us a very special guest. Please welcome Rajesh D. Singh. He's got a diploma, a PG diploma in plastic engineering from the Indian Plastic Institute and a BSc in chemistry from Pune University. He's currently working as a general manager technical at Asian Plastowares Pvt Limited and has a whopping 32 years of experience in this field. He's a specialist in manufacturing unit management for injection and blow molding. Let's get to know him and his absolutely stunning journey over the course of this webinar. Thank you so much, Mr. Singh, for taking the time out and joining us here today. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Sure. Right now, I'm working in a private organization named as Asian Plastowares. I'm heading into the technical part of the manufacturing section. And basically, our company is into the manufacturing of insulated products. And these are all mostly household products and industrial products too. And household products is basically the casseroles, water jugs, what you are using in the domestic houses every day in, day out. And then we have bigger ice boxes, which is being used in industries also. These are all basically insulated products. So I am into looking into the manufacturing aspect of all these products. And I've been in this company since last 3.5 years. Out of my 30 years, I've spent last 3.5 years in this company. To begin with, I would like to give some small brief of my father. My father also belonged to this plastic industry, and he has done it. He did his chemical engineering from Bihar, and after completing his chemical engineering, he had started his journey in the plastic industry itself. So this plastic was very well known to me from my father only. And it was like that in my childhood I used to visit his company also on Sundays, and there I used to see the machines and all, how the things are being operated, how when you push a button, then the mold will open, the machine opens, and the product comes out. Well, that was all very fascinating to me, and that is how I thought I should do something in this line. So as my father was also in this line, he was the first person who guided me that you can choose this as your profession, and you can go ahead in plastic line. Yeah, and apart from that, it was my personal interest also, because whenever I used to visit the companies, the things were very much fascinating to me, because I used to see the small plastic granules. It is being put on the machine, and then you get a bigger shape and different kind of shape of the product. So that was really fascinating, and it made me curiosity comes into my mind, how it is being made, what is being happening in the machine, how that granule is getting converted into a product. So there were many how questions coming in my mind. I used to frequently interact with my father also. Then he told me that it's better that if you're so interested, why not you come in this line only. So that's how I came along. Well, see, plastic engineer. If you see plastic engineer, plastic engineering is basically two field line. One field is related to making of the raw materials, which is being used for making plastic products, and the another field is basically the processing, wherein you are using that raw material and converting into the products. So there are two vast fields, and more or less the qualification required in both is similar but little bit different also. See, as a plastic engineer, if you are there in a processing field, that is in product manufacturing section, so there basically you are converting the plastic raw material into the products, different kind of products. Now, what kind of products we are making, that is what how you are going to set the machine, how you are going to set the process, or how you are going to really convert that plastic granule into that product. So the engineer is basically interacting with the machines and the process, and he is using his knowledge and skills and converting the raw material into the final product. That is the main role of an plastic engineer. Well, I had a very normal career path. I did my 10 plus 2, and after 10 plus 2, I went for the graduation in chemistry, because as the plastic is related to petrochemicals, so my father insisted that if you really want to enter into plastic field, then you need to know about the chemistry. Chemistry subject. So that is how I did my bachelor's degree, and after that, after knowing the plastic chemistry knowledge and related plastic knowledge, now the second part is the processing part. So how you are going to do the processing of the plastic material. So for that you need to have a qualification wherein you are making yourself specialized in processing technology, wherein different machines and molds are being used to convert the plastic material into the product. So after that, once I completed my graduation, I wanted to do a specialization in plastic engineering. So then we were surfing for the college, and as my father was from this line only, so he suggested me that it is better that you join Bagubai Mafatlal, wherein the Indian Plastic Institute is conducting the diploma courses, and that's how I joined the diploma course over there and completed my plastic specialization in Bagubai Mafatlal.
Got it. So most engineers or most people who get into engineering typically end up with a BE or a BTech degree, right?
Yeah.
Are you saying that that's different for plastic engineering, or there are multiple routes? Is there also BTech in plastical engineering and MTech in plastic engineering that one could?
Yes, it is there. You can do bachelor's course also, you can do master's course also, you can do diploma courses also. All the options are available, as it is almost similar to the different other fields of engineering. See, if you are doing a diploma and entering into a plastic field, that means that you are restricting yourself for the growth, basically. So what happens that a diploma candidate, he can go up to a certain level. But if you really want to jump up in your career or grow in your career, so definitely you need to have more knowledge, wherein you can get from bachelor's degree or your master's degree. And as far as the processing industry is concerned and raw material manufacturing industry is concerned, so if you are doing bachelor's degree and master's degree, then raw material manufacturing plants, that is more beneficial. And if you are doing a diploma or a degree course, then processing industry is much more beneficial. See, when you there in a product manufacturing company, that is what I call as a processing company, where you are converting the plastic granules into product. There you are interacting with the plastic granules and then using different process and machineries and molds and converting into the products. That is the day-to-day activity. Whereas if you go into the raw material manufacturing companies, there are a lot of engineering and chemical aspects comes into picture, because there you are using the petroleum products, you are using the different process, high pressure processes and different chemical reaction processes, wherein big machines and all things are involved. And that is totally, can say, a chemical based inputs required over there in that plant. So that is the underlying difference here. More of chemistry is required in raw material manufacturing, and more of processing knowledge is required in molding section. Well, in plastic engineering, if you see, basically basics of physics, mathematics, chemistry, and little bit of electrical and mechanical courses subjects are there, which we need to cover up, because those are the basic things which we will be requiring for processing industry. And apart from that, there are quality management systems, statistics, CAD CAM, and plastic specialized plastic processing methods. These are the basic courses which comes into the picture. Yes, it is possible. It is possible. The reason being, in the plastic processing industry, it is not only the plastic granule which is being used. The plastic granule is used along with the machines and the molds. And the moment the machines comes into picture, the mechanical engineer comes into picture, electrical engineer comes into picture, electronic engineer comes into picture. So it is this field is quite open for all the engineering field, based on what actually your specialization is. Well, if you see in your day-to-day life right now, wherever you see, everywhere you will see plastics. Be it automobile section, be a pharmaceutical section, or households, or any area you go, everywhere there is plastics. And different applications of plastics are requiring a different properties. Like automobile section, they require a different type of plastics. If you go for household, they require a different kind of plastic. Even if you go in the aircrafts also plastics are being used. There the plastics being used is of different type. So being such a wide range of application is there for the plastics, and nowadays as plastic manufacturing is economical also, so more and more parts are getting made in plastic. So I feel that it's a very big field where you can enter, and a lot of scope does exist. Well, I feel after 12th, the person should decide which field he has to take on. That will be the better way, because that is the right time when you can choose the subject also, and you can keep in your mind that these are the subjects which I need to focus on. So if it is a plastics, so obviously then you need to have a background of chemistry, physics, and mathematics. So all these backgrounds has to be there. So I think 10th or even at the first year stage, when all common subjects are there, that is also the time where you can decide which line you need to go. After graduation, they should take the internship, and they can start their job. Like if you see in my case, what I did in my case, I completed my graduation. After completing my graduation, I got admission in my Indian Plastic Institute. And after getting the admission, I came to know that they are conducting evening classes also. So I opted for the evening classes, and in the daytime, I joined a company and I started working over there. So what was happening with me, that in the day shift I used to work, and in the evening I used to go to the college. So that gave a very big advantage to me, that whatever I was learning in my college and whatever I was working in the company, I was able to correlate, and there are a lot of question answer session used to happen in the college too also. And lot of things which I was learning in the college, I used to come and implement in the company also. So that is how I manage my career. So I will prefer that if after graduation, if you get an opportunity, internship and job, you should do that. And parallelly after that, along with your job, you can go ahead with specialization courses. Being in plastic, I will say it is not purely everything about chemistry. Plastic engineering, what I have experienced, it is you have to know the knowledge of electrical, you have to know about mechanical, you should know about electrical. So there are so many things that you should know. Only learning chemistry and only learning plastics is not going to help you out to grow in the career, because you are day in day out, you are interacting with machines, you are interacting with molds, you are interacting with materials, and all these equipments, whatever we are interacting with, they are all made through mechanics and electrics. So the more you know your machines, the more you know your process, the more you know your material, that is always better. So what I did basically, that after completing my diploma in plastics, I did a short-term course of 5 days in hydraulics also. Because when I was operating the machines, I saw that the machines are operating on a hydraulic system, and in my curriculum, I did not have any hydraulic courses. So I went in, I joined the Vickers 5 days course, and I learned about hydraulics. Later on, I realized that I should know about electronics also. So there were certain short-term courses which I took for myself, and I upgraded myself so that I can be a versatile person, whether it is in processing or whether it is a mechanics or electric. I can be handful and handy to anybody. Yes, definitely. Because I can share you an example. Because when I started my career long back in 1989, the machines which we were using were very traditional type of machines. But nowadays, what machines we are getting is more automized, and a lot of robotic interferences also there. So the developments of the machine equipments does take place, and whatever developments are happening in the machine, obviously there is an engineer who is doing that development. So even if you're having some software knowledge or computer knowledge, that is also useful in building the machines which is being used for plastic processing. And there has been a lot of changes in last 30 years in the machineries and equipment which we have been using in plastic industry. Yeah. Besides manufacturing, one of the growing field is the designing basically. A plastic product needs a special designing background too, because whatever products we are making, they are being made with different processes, like I told you, injection molding process, blow molding process, vacuum thermoforming process. See, on all these processes, different kind of every kind of product has its own process. For example, which if a product is there which can be molded in blow molding, it cannot be done in injection molding. So when a person is designing a product, he has to keep that in mind. So he has to have a background of plastic engineering and technology, so that based on that he can design the product. So nowadays that designing of the product is a very good scope for the people. Well, what I have seen, the opportunities are equally good whether it is in India or abroad. And technology more or less remains same, because the plastic conversion process is more or less same in all the countries. So technologically it is not that abroad the people are much ahead or something like that. It's not that. Technology is the same. And as far as the opportunity is concerned, yes, what I have seen in plastic industry, the African countries, they have a lot of opportunities over there, and we have a lot of Indians working in African countries. And obviously people go there for a good salary and good payouts over there. So a lot of opportunity does exist in African countries. Well, as such, you have to keep yourself updated with whatever machinery developments and whatever software developments are happening, which you can use in your machine. That is what you need to keep yourself updated. Because at a career stage, you cannot be updated for which is what is going to come at a later stage. So now, presently also, I also keep myself updating regarding the softwares which is coming up, which I can use in the machines for controlling the process or setting the process. So you just need to keep yourself updated. Well, the main thing is over here that a lot of changes has happened. That is very true, because as I told you earlier, the machineries have changed a lot. Earlier we were having traditional machine, and nowadays we have all that machines with built-in screen facilities and software facilities. You can have a computer interface also. So I started my career wherein I was confronting with the traditional machines, but nowadays I am confronting myself with the updated versions of the machine. For this, basically, I had to undergo training, and whatever machines used to come in our company, new machines, new technology, the company used to provide training to us. And even the machine manufacturers, when they are coming up with the new technology, they do take care that the people over there who are going to use the machines, they are trained properly. So that's how I got the opportunity to get trained in Italy also, and I've been to Germany, I've been to China also for upgrading my technical skills with the new updated versions of the machines. Well, in the initial days, the day was something very narrowed down to, you are just going into the company, and there you are working in the shift. So you get a production plan, then you are there with the production plan, you are having the machines. You have to go ahead with the production plan, produce as per the requirements. And at the end of the shift, you have to report what you have made and what you have rejected, and how you have to give the total machine utilization reports and all. So that was the initial days. But right now the things have changed a lot right now, because of I've changed in my position, I've changed in my responsibilities. So right now the things have changed. Now you are there with the what market orders are there, what future orders are coming on, And then maybe there are certain products which sales are going down. So what we need to change is the design, how we can reduce the cost of manufacturing. So these are the daily routines what we face into basically nowadays. If any X product is there selling at say Y rupees, then how we can reduce the manufacturing cost, what we can do the changes in the design. If we are coming up with a new product, then obviously in plastic you have to keep on developing products also. So every day there are certain new products being developed and being designed. So yeah, more or less your time goes in design development and then just coping up with the market requirements. Well, the challenges, I can tell you, in plastic, it's not related only to plastic industry. Maybe in other industries also these challenges may be there. But I will talk from the plastic perspective. In the initial days when I started my career, that time plastic engineering course was very unconventional and people were not that qualified enough. So in most of the companies you used to find experienced people, not qualified but experienced people. So by the virtue of experience, they know how to set a product, they know how to run the machine. So they have learned through the experience. So when you are there as a qualified engineer, when you enter the company, then you are getting confronted with these kind of people, and these people pose a very big challenge to you because they say कि यार पढ़ने लिखने से क्या होगा, what will happen with study, you must need you must know this, you must know that. And as we are only qualified and we have less experience, so it becomes very difficult to overcome these people thinking and then to prove them that yes, we are, if we are qualified, then we really know something better than you. So that was a big challenge which came into my life, that how can I prove to this experienced unqualified people that if I have a qualification, I know better than you and I can do better than you. So that was the initial days challenge which I faced. And after facing the challenge, I understood that the more and more I try to implement my theoretical knowledge, the better it will be. So I started doing that, and I think after few years, say 7 to 8 years, I was at par, and one of my seniors, who was my senior at the earlier stage, he became my junior also. So that is a challenge which may come to the people, because still in plastic industry there are experienced people. There are experienced people, more of experienced people rather than qualified people. Yeah, for a fresher, the pay scale is around about 15 to 20,000 per month on an average for a fresher. And if you are having a 3 to 5 years of experience, so your range may be around about 30 to 60,000. And if you are 8 years to 10 years experience, it may go up to 60 to 80,000 per month. And of course, if you are more than 10 years of experience, then it is not the number of experience counts, it is the skill what you have demonstrated. It can be more than a lakh also. Well, as a beginner, you start with an trainee engineer, and from a trainee engineer you grow up to shift in charge. From shift in charge, then you are there commanding the production department, and from the commanding the production department, gradually you start taking care of maintenance, and you start taking care of production also. I mean, mold maintenance, machine maintenance. So that's how you grow yourself from an engineer to a shift in charge, from a shift in charge to a manager, from a manager then you become an assistant manager, and then it is a deputy general manager, and up to vice president level. Well, after completing our qualification, there are many big companies in India. For example, Nilkamal Limited, Supreme Industries, VIP Industries, Jain Irrigation, then Cello, everybody knows about Cello. So there are many big companies who do offer internship. And after completing your internship, based on the outcome of the internship, you can get an offer also, and you can pursue the career in those companies. Well, reason is around you only. Reason is around everybody. Now, if you just turn your head here and there, you will see everywhere there is a plastic. I think the mobile or the laptop who the people are using for the Zoom session there, that is also of plastic. So the application what the plastic is having in today's world, that is very, very huge, very, very huge. Each and every corner, each and every product does have a plastics in it. So with such a wide range of application, and Mr. Modi, our great Prime Minister, if he is trying to make India as a manufacturing hub in the world's manufacturing hub, I think it is a very, very good and great opportunity for us to enter into the plastic field, because that is going to be a really, really big industry in coming future. Yeah, to a certain extent, definitely it has impacted, because as the markets were closed, customers were not there. So there were many products which used to get sold that is not being sold. So that has impacted. But there were certain areas of plastic like pharmaceutical, if you see. So it has not that much. It was not that impacted, because pharmaceutical, it was in quite good demand. So in pharmaceutical also, you have injection syringe, you are having so many packing products which is being used for medicines and all. So all those products that continued, and that grew well in the pandemic time. See, basically the plastics which is not recyclable, that is very, very dangerous to the environment. So first and the foremost requirement is that whatever plastic products you are making, it should be recyclable. That is the prime requirement. If you are there with your recycling process set, then I don't think there is any danger to the environment. But if you are into a business who is making a plastic which is not recyclable, then obviously that is very dangerous to us. That we should not go ahead with. And being big manufacturers, all the big manufacturers, they do have their in-house recycling facilities. So is always whatever rejection is there or whatever damages are there, that is being recycled. No, as such, there is no major impact, but it is major impact in the sense that there is no negative impact. It's a good impact, because automation and all this robotic interface, that is going to help us increasing the productivity. Like I told you earlier, that our old machines, that was not having, that is a conventional machine, so that was not having any robotic facility. But nowadays, the machines are coming with robots, so that is always every time helping us to get a better productivity and a faster productivity with an economical cost. So it is always helpful for us. Well, if you are really interested to plastic industries, it is a very, very good option to go ahead with for the coming future. But one thing is there, that whatever theoretical knowledge you have, that you need to prove it in your practical life also. Because in my practical session in my factories, I have noted one very common dialogue which is very, very common in all the factories, that people say, theory to alag hota hai, practical alag hota hai. This is a very, very common dialogue which comes up with many people. So this is the statement which I have always objected for, and I have already always told the people that it's not that. If you're not able to implement your theory properly, that does not mean that practical and theory is different. Theory has always evolved from the practical work only. So it cannot be that theory and practical are two different things. In our type of industry, I've seen the people using this statement very, very in a very common way. And this is the challenge for the coming engineers also, that they have to prove that whatever theoretical knowledge they have, it has come out of the practical thing, and you can implement it in a practical way for the betterment of the company.
Super. Thank you for sharing that, Mr. Singh, and for all the insights that you gave us today. Let's move to the next one. We've got Anirudh asking, sir, with so much importance on automation, what is your advice to aspiring engineers in terms of skill development on basics as well as other areas that they should develop in order to stay ahead in their field? Right. So any advice to young engineers or aspiring engineers in terms of skill development?
With respect to automation?
Absolutely.
Yeah, in plastic industry also, a lot of automations are there existing right now, and in future also we'll be going for much more automation, because gradually we are trying to develop a machine which is human free. Nowadays the machines are being operated by our worker, basically as a human being operating the machine. But we are looking into the future aspects of the machine, where we don't require any operators to run the machine. It should be fully automatic and fully robotic involved machineries, wherein the machine is running on a full auto mode without any human interference. So that kind of automation does have a very good scope in plastic industry right now.
We've also got another question from Alfia, who's saying, is there any overlap between material science and plastic engineering? If yes, which one of them would be a better career path?
Overlap is there because material science speaks about the basic properties of the material. And once you know the basic properties of the material, then using the material and processing it for converting into the different product, that becomes much easier. So if you're there in your processing field, you do need to have the knowledge of plastic material. But if you're making a raw material, plastic raw material, then in that part you are not required to know about the processing area. But if you really want to go ahead in your career, both careers are equally good. Whether you are into a raw material making company or whether you are into a product making company.
Got it, understood. We've got another one from Dr. Anupama, who's saying, what about occupational safety hazards? How are they being addressed by the Indian industry? What compliances are required, and can this also be a good career option? Compliances, that is.
As far as the plastic industry is concerned, fire is the only hazard what we are having. As far as if you see the pollution and all those, so there is nothing polluting objects coming out from the plastic industry. So only you need to have good hydrant mechanisms wherein you can be prepared for the any unforeseen circumstances.
Okay, I think Anirudh has another question. Anirudh, please feel free to ask your question.
Yeah, thanks, sir. It's addition to my earlier query on automation. So with a lot of stress on the automation, while the engineers should have a basic understanding on engineering, apart from the plastic engineering, in terms of the automation, where all other areas they should learn in order to be there in the field. It's not just about the basic engineering, but apart from the basic engineering, which key skills they should develop?
Key skills in connection to automation?
Absolutely, yeah. So how do they know what type of automation that's happening? For that type of automation, what other areas they should learn apart from the key engineering skill? Like you had a chemical engineering background. So for an entry-level engineer, he comes with a basic chemical engineering understanding. But that may not be just enough as he grows, because the equipments would have changed, a lot of automation would have happened. The same understanding of basic engineering may not just help him to be on the forerun in the area.
Right.
What else he should learn apart from the basic engineering?
You want that a plastic engineer should learn about automation?
Yeah, absolutely.
See, for a plastic engineer to learn about an automation, I think the automation is more related to mechanics, electronics, and software. So if a plastic engineer wants to go into that field, that is a totally different field. What a plastic engineer can do, that he can suggest what kind of automation he requires on a machine. He can suggest that. And it is always better that whatever he is suggesting for on a machine or equipment, automation required, so that a specialized person who is specialized in making the automation, he does it for him. So what a plastic engineer can do, that he can generate the scope of automations, where exactly he wants the automation in the process, in the mold, in the machine, or any other equipment. So that is what a plastic engineer can tell about. But it is not necessary that a plastic engineer should go and start building a robot or say some interfacing equipment. That for that already specialized people are there.
Alrighty, I see no other questions, Mr. Singh. Thank you so much for taking the time out and joining us here today for this webinar. I really appreciate the amount of knowledge and information that you've shared with us on this unconventional world of plastic engineering, and I hope that a lot more people opt for it as a potential career path for themselves and educate themselves through the information that you've shared here. But thank you so much for taking the time out, and thanks everybody. Have a lovely weekend ahead. Bye.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.